Are you satisfied? Happy? Miserable? Are you looking for love in all the wrong places? It's time for the Michelle Hughes Show, where we keep it real. Tune in daily and join our controversial topics as we talk about singles, sex, and men and women's issues. And now, the queen of relationships on the Michelle Hughes Show. Always keeping it real. Your host, Michelle Hughes.
Well, good evening, everyone. Yes, I'm Michelle Hughes. I'm your host. And you know, yes, I'm the queen of relationships. And we have something to talk about today because we have a new ebook out. Yes, we do. It is called Why Do Relationships Go Bad? And the subtitle is It Takes Two Willing People to Make It Work. And really it does. If you really want any relationship to work, it really takes two people who are willing to say, yes, we are going to make it work. Oh, yes. And you know, that's the only way it's going to work. And that's the reason why I hear so many people coming to me talking about how bad their situation is. They really love the person, but it seems like the person's not interested in them, or vice versa. Whether it's the male or the female, it's always some situation that isn't going the way they would like it to go. And so this is why I believe you need to go to our website, whydorelatationships.com, and pick up that ebook. It has a special price right now. The regular price is $19.99, but you can get it right now up until November 30th of this year for $9.99. Yes, come on now. Oh, yeah. Now, we're giving it to you because we believe that you need to maybe email some of your friends or that special person that you want him to get it right. Well, this is the time for you to buy him something special or buy her something special. And in the interim, you're letting them know that you want a better relationship. I have a quote for you. It says here, a good relationship keeps life interesting. Yes, and it really does. If you really want your relationship to be interesting, you got to put some little work in there. Then you got to have the right person. Sometimes we're selecting the wrong people, and then we're trying to blame ourselves because, well, I guess you only have yourself to blame, right? But, you know, I believe that that's why you come back to the Michelle Hughes Show, because you know I'm going to give you some advice that's going to help you understand how to do it right. Well, I dedicated this book to every person who is looking to make changes in how they view their relationships. They are deciding to view relationships from the inside first. In other words, they are going to start with themselves first. And I believe that if we begin to start looking at those intricate things inside of us, those things that make us tick, those things that sometimes you don't look at, maybe someone else have to bring it to your attention to let you know, I like this about you. I like your smile, or I like the way you really delve into a problem and you get to the root of the issue. I like that about you. And, or maybe you may look at that person and say, I like the way you handle yourself in difficult situations. You don't lose your cool. You see, these are the things that we have to begin to look at and say, oh, yes, I really do appreciate this person. So you don't always have to meet someone that's going to treat you badly. No, you can start looking for those intricate things that you know you desire. in a person. And when that person comes, I can guarantee you, you will know immediately that this is the person for you. I'm going to read you the intro to our book, Why Do Relationships Go Bad? And it says here, have you realized most relationships don't do well when quality time isn't put into the relationship? We have to evaluate who we are dealing with in our relationships. Do you have a person who is willing to make the relationships evolve long term, or are they looking for a short term relationship? See, I just said a mouthful right there. Are you dealing with a person who's looking for a long term relationship, or are they looking for a short term relationship? These are just some of the things that you need to begin to ask yourself, because this will help you understand why you are entering into the wrong relationships that you're saying is bad. You have to have an open heart, mind, and spirit to allow yourself to evolve in your relationship. And I believe that's the reason why, and this is the only reason, how you're going to select the right partner or the right mate that you desire in your heart. Because I don't think people just innately go out to find a person who's not going to treat them well. That would be ridiculous. But I believe that if we begin to look at ourselves and begin to say, why am I selecting the wrong individual? You see, I say here in my book here, it says here on page 1, why do relationships go bad? We are going to respond with yes, 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 with a capital yes. We are not blaming you because you do not understand why you keep selecting bad partners. However, we believe you are allowing your partners to select you. Wow, this is a powerful statement, people. We're going to say it again. You are allowing your partners to select you. See, these are just some of the things that you're going to get in this book. It's going to help you understand why you are selecting the wrong person. And as I said earlier, you don't go out to just, walk down the street and boom, you find a partner, find someone, maybe someone may introduce you to this person. And you say, okay, I like this person. You may meet them over to your friend's house and they tell you, oh, this is a great guy. Or they may even tell the girl, he's a great person. Or they may even tell the guy, she's a great person. And so you start thinking, okay, maybe he is a great person. So you begin to maybe talk to the person on the phone, or you start spending some little quality time with the person. You may even go out on your first date. And you may say, oh, I kind of like him. But, it takes time to really find out really what a person is all about. And so you may not detect everything immediately. But if you take your time, and I always say this, if we can keep sex out the scenario, it will really help you from really binding yourself to that individual. Because sex connects you immediately. That's why it should be done, in the confines of marriage. Well, listen. I have some questions that is on page 14 that I'm going to give you at least 5 of those questions that I'm asking you to ask yourself. Do you like them, or do you find them interesting? That's number 1 I would ask you. Or 2, what is the character of this person? And 3, what are their spiritual beliefs? Are they a Christian or non-believer? Do they want 5 is, do they want a commitment or just want to have fun? Because there are many people who, they don't go into a relationship to think about commitment. Their whole goal is just to have fun. And see, these are some of the things that I'm going to help you understand if you have the right person. And so these are some of the things that, like I said, we delve into. And it gives you the power to choose your mate, as opposed to you selecting your mate. And I always say you got to get that number one inspiration from the Holy Spirit, who's going to help you, tell you if this is the right person. You got to let God interrupt you, okay? Get you out the way and give you some ideas if this is the right person. He'll show you, he'll show you the person's attitude. At the wee hour, sometimes you'll wake up and say, wow, why did that person say that to me? Because that's really the Holy Spirit trying to jar you and let you see some of the intricate things about this person's personality, if they would be a good candidate for you. Because you really want a loving person, a person who has a loving spirit. You don't want someone who's mean, cantankerous, just out to get you because they don't love themselves. And if you have a person who really doesn't understand the importance of loving an individual because they really haven't found out how to love. And I believe it takes time to learn how to love. And of course, it's the Holy Spirit, it's God that teaches us through His Word how to love. And so if you're dealing with a person who may not be a believer, then you may be really at risk, because this may not be a good candidate for you. Because, and I'm saying that, and because why would you want to marry someone who has no beliefs at all in God? Because where are they getting their intuition? Where are they getting their leading? How do they function every day? Because you know yourself, if you didn't have the leading of the Holy Spirit, you would be just a wild animal maybe, or you would be evil all the time, or maybe mad with people. But it's the Holy Spirit that grips you and lets you know that that wasn't nice. You didn't say that properly, or you're not treating people. You're not treating that person the way, God would want you to treat that person. And the big question is, if God was in a room, would you talk that way? Yeah, that's a big thing, because a lot of times we wouldn't do things if maybe someone in power was around. It's like if your boss is around, would you do things that you wouldn't do? No. And so that's how you have to remember how to treat that person that you love. Would you do it if someone was important to you? Would you say that to them? And I think that will really help you from saying things that you wouldn't want anyone else to hear you say. And so these are just some of the things that I believe is going to help you when you purchase this book, because this book is just going to give you some things to think about, so that you won't keep making bad decisions in the person that you want to maybe eventually make that your lifetime partner, is a mate, is your husband, or maybe your wife. And so I believe that if we would go into our relationships with that attitude, we would have better relationships, and we wouldn't have relationships that keep not going the way we want them to go. And sometimes we just need to just take some time out, maybe get out the dating field for a while and figure out what it is that you're looking for. Write some things down. I believe that when you begin to write the things down that you're looking for in an individual, there are things that we must have. I mean, I know there's some things I just have to have. I got to have a godly man, a man who put God first in his life. And so you got to begin to think, what are some of those things you must have? Do you need a person who is kind, caring, who's, maybe some people say I got to have a man who's educated, because I'm an educated woman. Everybody have their own beliefs about some things that they must have. Some people say I just got to have a person who has a sense of humor, because that's all I do. I laugh all the time. So you got to figure out some of the things that you enjoy, that you just have to have in an individual. Because if you don't have those things, it's just going to make your relationship not interesting. And you really want to make the relationship interesting, because the two of you make it, you make each other interesting, because he gives you what you need and she gives you what he needs, and man, you bring those two persons together and it just evolves. And you're going to have some times that you may have your disagreements, but you know what? I believe if you find a person who understands how to disagree, in the spirit of love. And I keep using love because that's all I know, people. Because if you don't really understand the power of love, then you really haven't you really don't understand what life is all about. Well, listen, we're going to go to a commercial break. We're going to come right back because we have some more things to talk about in that ebook that you need to go and purchase.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back as we deal with more heart-to-heart issues. This is the Queen of Relationships on the Michelle Hughes Show, where we keep it real. Stay with us on the Michelle Hughes Show. It's the Michelle Hughes Show. We keep it real. We talk about singles, sex, men and women issues. Come join the conversation on the Michelle Hughes Show. Are you satisfied, happy, or miserable? Are you looking for love in all the wrong places? Well, tune in daily and join our controversial topics. She is the Queen of Relationships on the Michelle Hughes Show. She keeps it real. Don't miss a show with Michelle Hughes.
That's right. Don't miss a show. We're here Monday through Friday from what? You know the time, 7:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And we are here for you singles. We want you to understand that we want you to enter into the end of this year or next year. We want you to have the best relationships ever because you're getting coaching from, the Queen of Relationships. Well, listen, we're going to get back to talking about why do relationships go bad. And you remember, it takes two willing people to make it work. And we do believe that. That's the reason why we wrote this ebook, because we felt that people need to understand the reasons why they are in relationships that are not going the way they think it should go. And the only way you're going to grow and get better is that you learn through reading information that's giving you quality, tips on how to make your relationship better. And I believe that's the only way you grow. You grow by learning different things that's going to make you a better woman with the man that you're with, and vice versa. It make you a better man with that woman that you are in a relationship with. And that can only come by understanding some of the things that you're not doing properly. And if you don't understand why you are doing what you're doing, then you won't understand why you keep entering into those relationships that's not going well. Well, I'm reading from page 18 in the book. You need to go purchase that ebook, whydorelationshipsgobad.com. And it says here on page 18, let's say it together. You are attracted to who you are. If you are good, you will only attract good into your life. It is a thought to hold dear to your heart. It is a terrible thing to get taken by someone who isn't serious about you or who isn't a loving person. We have to stay on top of our game. It is like a person who is good at sports. What do? They practice sometimes, or do they practice every day for hours? Yes, this is the power of a good athlete. They practice daily. We need to take our lead from our great athletes. They never give up. They become more determined to get better at their game. Many win trophies, awards, and many achievements. Let your award come by never giving up until you meet the right person. It is well worth it in the end. And that's what I believe. And this is what you have to remember, that it takes practice, it takes time, it takes reading information. That's why I'm asking you all to go and purchase this book, because it's just going to give you information that's going to help you to be a better partner. And that's why I use that example. Athletes, when you think about the person who's good at what they love to do, that's like the basketball player or the football player. I mean, they are good at what they do and they make good money for it because what? They practice daily. They have a coach. That coach is telling them the things that they need to, sharpen their giftings in. They may need to, go up a little higher, or make sure you bend your legs a little lower. And that's what I'm doing. I'm telling you some things in this book that's giving you information that's going to say, maybe you need to tighten up in this area. Maybe you need to, read a little bit more in this book that's teaching you how to be a loving individual to that mate that maybe you may not have yet, but maybe they're coming in the future. So what you're doing, you're just doing some little, shaping up. You're shaping up yourself. That's right. You're fine-tuning your communication, how you communicate to people, and especially to that person who you want to be in your life for a lifetime. And so I believe that only comes through practice and reading and looking at yourself, with the open mind and not being critical of yourself. We're not wanting you to just down yourself. No. But we want you to be objective and look at yourself, and so that you can see some areas, maybe even from your past relationships, that you realize, I need to fine tune myself. I need to, maybe stop getting an attitude about little small things that really doesn't mean much. And sometimes we do. We get attitudes about things that really, you can let that go. But you have to stop being so hard on the individual, maybe who's in your life too. Because maybe that's how you were taught as a kid. Maybe your mom, maybe that's how they interacted with one another. But you're going to say, okay, maybe my parents did things a certain way, but I'm going to make sure I'm going to do things a different way. I'm tired of looking at myself, and that's right, booing at myself. Stop booing at yourself. And begin to realize you have some good, there are good things about you. There are things in your personality that maybe you just need to heighten those things. And those things can only be heightened by what? Spending more time, I believe, with yourself, looking at yourself, looking at how you talk to people, maybe on your job. How do you talk to people when you're working with them? And so I believe that the more time you look at evaluating yourself and beginning to say, okay, I need to stop maybe saying things that I would want people to say to me, or maybe it's just how you speak. Sometimes if we speak in a harsh tone, everything is like, yes, right. It's like it's always like you're mad. And so sometimes we just need to just look at ourselves objectively and say, I'm a great person, but there's some things I need to do to say to myself, would I want to be in love with me? That's right. Would you want to be in love with yourself? Well, I'm going to give you some questions to ask yourself. On page 19, I have some questions here. And number one is, do you have quiet times by yourself? Most of us don't. We don't spend just times just to look inside of yourself and begin to say, I need to look at myself and say, maybe I need to change my hairdo. Or maybe, I need to learn how to smile more, or laugh a little bit more, or, stop putting people down about every little thing. Those things that you need to check yourself for. Or number two is, do you listen to the Spirit? Do you know what the Spirit is? The Holy Spirit. Because that quiet, still voice that will just come and almost like nudge you and say, quiet yourself down. You're getting angry. Don't get angry. Don't talk right now. When someone comes to you and they may have said something that you just want to explode. And you just want to just give them your 2 cents. And the Holy Spirit will just come and say, not now. Don't say a word. And just look at them. Don't open your mouth. Don't even speak. Because if you speak now, you're going to say something that you're going to regret. So see, that's why it's so important that we understand how to listen to the Spirit within us. Or 3, do you spend time making yourself look good? That's right. Do you? I mean, that's important, because I believe that the better you feel about yourself, the more you will want to be with someone, because you know that you're spending time, making yourself look better on the inside and outside, and so therefore you have something to give to another individual. Or number 5, do you read to motivate your consciousness level? Do you read to motivate yourself? And I believe that's what reading does. It helps you to look at yourself in a more reflective way. And that's why I'm saying go buy this book, because that's what it's going to do. It's going to help you to think about some of the things that maybe you might be doing in your relationship that is making the relationship, and maybe some of your relationships, or maybe all of your relationships, have turned bad because you're not looking at yourself. And I believe that this book is going to help you look at yourself more objectively, and give you some ideas to help you understand how to change yourself from the inside out. And we all need little things to help us change from the inside out. And I just believe that the more we begin to look at ourselves and say, I'm a loving individual and I have a lot to give to someone, and I just need maybe someone to help me and tell me some of the areas that I need to work on. And I believe that that's why it's so important for you to go to whyDoRelationshipsGoBad.com and purchase that book, because it's on sale for only $9.99, and it's going to put you in the right direction, give you some information that's going to give you hope. Not only hope, but just help you fine-tune those areas that will help you present yourself in a better way. And I believe that we all need tips on how to be better people in our relationships. I don't think no one has all the answers. And I believe that is why people write books, because they've learned from their experiences. That's right. I'm not just writing this book because I'm writing it from my own life experiences, the things that I have gathered that has helped me to understand some things that I need to change to be a better person in my relationships. And I believe that if it can help me, I know it's going to help you to be that person that you desire to be to that individual that you may even have now. If nothing else, it's going to give you tips to be better at being that loving person to the person that you're dating at this moment. Because I'm talking to singles. I believe that if we learn to have better relationships while we're single and learn intricate things to make us feel better about ourselves, that it's going to do nothing but help the person that you're with feel better about themselves. Because everybody wants an individual to motivate them, to make them feel important. Everybody's looking for that person to say, hey, you're a great person, or I like these things about you. And everybody needs those it's not going to make you or break you, but all it's going to do is help you to feel better about yourself. And I believe that's what relationships are. That's what they're all about, is to bring out the best in each other by what? Saying the right things. Because if we're not just doing the right things, but we're not saying the right things, there are people maybe they'll buy you a whole lot of nice toys or gifts or whatever. When I say toys, I mean little nice little trinkets, but they don't know how to talk to you. And so I believe these are the areas that we're talking about. So what are we doing? I'm reading from what page am I on? I'm reading from page 20, and it says here, singles, we are pinpointing areas in your life that you need to work on before you choose your mate, or if you have already selected your mate. We are asking you to meditate on these questions and begin to let these questions bring about change into your life. We're suggesting you get a notebook and write down those areas that you plan to work on daily. When you write those things, those areas you want to work on, it will help you to become a better you in your relationship. And I believe that you only can get better by looking at yourself from an objective point of view, and I guarantee you, when you look at yourself from more an objective point of view, you are going to become that person that person will love to be with. Well, listen, we have more for you on tomorrow. Okay, you know what we do here. We keep it real.
Thanks for tuning in to the Michelle Hughes Show. Join us daily for more hot topics with the Queen of Relationships. Always keeping it real. See you tomorrow on the Michelle Hughes Show.